This is Oversimulated Toddler. It's a sequencer synthesizer that I'm working on, and I was hoping to have it finished to show you in this video, but it's kind of kicking my ass. But I can show you what it's doing right now, and maybe express to you my hopes. I've been staying up till like 4 in the morning trying to get this thing working the last couple nights. So I don't have to keep doing that, I hope, because any time now I'll surely solve the problems with it. So let me take you on a little tour. These are the 8 steps. Each one of those is a note. To program them, use these buttons down here, like you press this one to program note 1, note 2. This is an experiment that I was doing. I don't know. I'll see if I can get it to work. The way the code is written that I'm basing it on. You press a button to program that, and then you press the 1 button to start the sequence. But that means if you press the 1 button to start the sequence, because you're holding it down for a moment, it often makes button 1 really hard to program, which is a silly problem. So I'm going to try to switch that over to the sort of an enter key. Over here we have an Arduino Nano buried inside all of the input and output wires. It's run along a cable past my scope dog over into my computer right now. But all that's doing at the moment is providing power. This will probably use a barrel connector, or I don't know, maybe use a USB connector, since they seem to be more available these days. Over here is the big exciting thing that I'm doing, which is that these, zoom in for you. These ICs down here are multiplexers, which were not in the original sketch that I'm using. And there are actually 3 of them. There's a third one down here next to the microcontroller. Those are splitting out the inputs and outputs. So all of these 8 buttons aren't going to 8 digital pins on here, because these knobs are also going to pins on here, and these lights are also going to pins on here, and we don't have that many pins. So we're using multiplexers to break those out. And it's been interesting learning how to use those, because there's some peculiarities. Like if you switch back and forth between input and output, I think is what I decided, there's a slight delay which gives you garbage output. So that took a few 4 o'clock nights to figure out what was going on there. I also have a volume knob here, and I can turn off the sound. For anybody who's worked on these things, you know that sometimes the sound just really gets out of control, and it's horrible. But right now it's not horrible. I'm going to show you a little bit how it works. I'm going to turn on the sound. Oh, I'm running over to this, just an Unz amplifier over here. And I'll show you what's happening on the oscilloscope. If you're interested in electronics, by the way, this DS0138 it's a really fun kit. It's not a fantastic oscilloscope, but it's a $20 oscilloscope, and it was really fun to put together. And I use it all the time. It definitely doesn't work at super high frequencies, and it gets a little bit imprecise. But if you don't need super great precision, and this kind of thing is audio frequencies, so that's relatively low, it's tremendous fun, tremendously useful. You can see a little bit of that imprecision there. I'm pretty sure that's not actually coming out of the sound. It might be, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I think that's just garbage inside the oscilloscope. So this is what it sounds like. So that's a pretty dull sound, right? That is the same note being played on each of these. So if we want to change one, what we do is these over here, you'll recall, are the current note. These over here are the global note. So we can change the tone that everything is playing by changing that. And we can change the tempo. But since they're all the same note, we can't hear that. So we'll keep it down low. Tempo down low for the time being. And this is the frequency right now of the note that we're going to program. So let's just program this one. Now we hit enter. So now note 2 and 4 are playing this other note that were determined by the frequency here. That wobble, by the way, is coming off from all the noise coming through these. You can actually hear physical analog noise when I move these cables. And just like that, the frequency wobble is caused by just electrical noise like that. So if we want to increase the frequency of each note, I did 2 and 4, let's do 6. Oh, I reduced the frequency. I have some of these hooked up backwards. And we can still change the frequency of the entire sequence with the sync knob over here. I tend to like it really down low. And there's neat stuff also that your brain does when you turn this up really fast, tempo. Makes really interesting polytones because it's playing all of those notes in rapid succession, so your brain is putting them together as a harmonic. I think it's a really beautiful sound. Now the challenge here, let's turn this back into a rhythm from a chord. The challenge here is that these ones here are supposed to be changing the nature of the tone. This is grain 1 and 2, their phase, and then these are their decay, and that's their sync. Now the sync turns into a pitch. That's pretty easy to get your head around. These two pair here are doing a different thing, which I'm not going into granular synthesis, but I'll link to it in the notes below. So that's where this is at right now. The 4 knobs here and the 4 knobs here are not doing the really interesting thing that they can do, and you can hear them doing it on my Brigand video if you go back for that. But in the meantime, let's just make some weird sounds. There we are, now we're playing a video game. You can hear some of those frequencies are dropping below the ability of the chip to produce them. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!